it's amazing because for me the most important thing is that you're gonna be surrounded by other volunteers that arrive like you, having no idea what is gonna be the future, and then you come back. When I arrived home, I was feeling homesick of Italy.
Welcome to the Volunteer Support Podcast, brought to you by the European Union's co-funded project Promptus EDU, a collaboration between associations Audis Aut Mori and Building Bridges.
Welcome to a new episode of our Volunteer Support Podcast series, Promptus EDU. Today we are going to talk about the European Solidarity Corps and the rules related to the program. To do this, we have a special guest with us today. Anna, welcome.
Welcome, and thank you very much for the opportunity again to be here and talk about this beautiful world of volunteering.
I am Luisa from Asociación Building Bridges, and I am super happy to have Anna with us. Anna is a former volunteer, and she will enrich this podcast with her experience. She went through an amazing journey during her volunteering project, so I am sure that she will give us a lot of amazing tips.
Thank you very much, Lisa. I will try.
So, Anna, first of all, why don't you tell us what is the ESC? What does it mean, ESC?
Okay, so ESC means European Solidarity Corps, and it's a program of volunteering, as the name said, founded by European Union, where people from European countries and other countries that are associated can go to another country for little or long term, and to go abroad and to do volunteering activities.
Yes, it is. And there are some rules about who can participate and also about the duration of the program. A volunteering activity allows you to contribute to the daily work of an organization that is actively benefiting the local community. It is usually a cross-border activity. You can register for the European Solidarity Corps when you are 17 years old, but you cannot start an activity until you have reached 18. Also, you must not be older than 30 at the start of the activity. To participate in volunteering activity, you must be legally resident in the EU member state or countries associated to the program. Talking about duration, we have two different kinds of durations. We can have short-term volunteering projects from 2 weeks to 2 months, or long-term volunteering projects from 2 months until 12 months, 1 year. Oh, this is the very big experience. How long was your volunteering experience, Anna?
It was at the beginning, they say 8 months, but at the end we stay a little more because we were having a really good connections with the other volunteers, and some people entered a little after, so we spent there like 9 months and a half, something like that.
Oh, thank you. So you had a very, very special experience that
Yes.
lasts almost 1 year. So you have time to learn a lot and meet a lot of people.
Yeah, I learned Italian, and also I think I practice a lot my level of English because in the organizations we most talk in English. I learn a lot.
Talking about languages, it's not a requirement to have a high level of English. It is okay if you only have a basic level of English that allows you to communicate, because this will help you with the communication with your hosting organization and also other volunteers. And of course, it's an added value to be ready to improve your languages, to learn new languages.
Yes, it's important. I think the most important thing is to have the attitude because the knowledge will come with time.
Yes, and you will learn a lot overall if you're staying for a long-term project.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking about before hosting organization, but what is an hosting organization? Let's talk about the actors involved in volunteering projects. Each volunteering project inside the European Solidarity Corps program has 3 main actors involved. The volunteer, who is the protagonist, of course. Then we have a sending organization and an hosting organization. The sending organization is the organization located in your sending country. And it is the organization that provides support to volunteers before they leave their country to go abroad and during their volunteering program. And of course, there is the hosting organization, the organization where volunteers goes and implement their volunteering activities. In the programs, you can find a lot of different kinds of organization in different countries with different kinds of activities. So here it's your turn if you're thinking about to go abroad with a volunteering program. It's up to you to choose the one that is in line with your interest.
Yeah. And also because if you use this opportunity well, you will have also the opportunity after the volunteering to acquire this experience and then develop a new job. For example, if it's interested with the thing you want to dedicate yourself of the thing you want to get better. Like for example, for me it was so important to work with the kids. And during my ESC in Italy, I did a lot of summer camps with kids, and now this is really useful for my daily life in my job. So, yeah, it's a great opportunity.
If you're accepted in a volunteering project abroad, you will have to carry out a series of volunteering activities. But how many hours? According to the programs, volunteers can carry out volunteering activities between 30 and 38 hours per week, working in volunteering activities 5 days per week. So each volunteer has each week 2 days off. And of course, there are also vacation. Each volunteer has 2 days per month of vacation.
Also depends on the contract that you have, but normally these 2 days off that you have in the week are follow one by each other. And then if you have 2 days per month, you can go for a trip in another city that is in the country that you are visiting, and that's a really nice opportunity also to know new places.
And you mentioned also a really important thing, the contract. What is the contract? There is a contract, which is called volunteering agreement, which is, in effect, an agreement between the volunteer and the hosting organization. This contract is important because in the contract you can find all the information regarding tasks of volunteers, but also all information related to pocket money, food, accommodation, and transportations, which are a very important things related to the volunteering program. Each volunteer has a pocket money, has food included, and also accommodation. So if you are thinking about going abroad with a volunteering program funded by the European Solidarity Corps, you don't have to worry about your accommodation. It can be a shared room in a shared flat. It can be also an individual room. It depends on the hosting organization. But don't worry, you don't have to pay the rent and you don't have to pay for the electricity because it's all covered by the program. So everything related to your activities, to your rights, to your duties will be detailed in this volunteering agreement. And we always say it is important to read it carefully before signing it because it's a contract. But what does it mean being involved in activities?
Oh, wow, that's a good question. Like, I think, for example, the best opportunity that this program can offer you is the freedom to start, for example, if it's your first job, let's say, it's not a job, but it's the first time you can acquire the job mindset. Let's say, okay, I'm here doing a thing that I'm agreed to do and that I like to do, and how can this benefit also my laboral and personal life. This is important for me. The most the better mindset you can have is to be involved, like if you were part of the place you're working, if you were part of the family of the people with you are working with. And I'm talking about other volunteers like your college, but also the hosting organization, the people that is working with you every day. And I think it's really important to be involved because even if you think it's not a job, this can be something that can really change your future if you know how to take this opportunity. And it's important to have also your own ideas, to be proactive, to move yourself and move the others. Guys, what do you think if we can do this or we can do the other thing? Because also a volunteering activity normally is really open to implement your own projects through this personal project activity. But also in the own organization, you can propose some activities that you would like to do. It's a great opportunity also to start your own entrepreneur mindset. Okay.
I love that. And I really agree. I think this is like an opportunity to start thinking about what I want to do. How can I do it? Okay, I'm starting with a volunteering activity, but I can propose things. I can make this activity mine. I can implement it as I am, and I can put a part of me in it. And this is the magic I think that it can give the program. So the opportunity to develop activities, but also develop ourselves. Starting thinking about how would I implement those activities and how can I learn from these activities and what can I give to the people I'm working with during my volunteering. And I want also go back to something that you were saying about staying in contact with tutors and being in contact with organization. Because before we mentioned that among the actors involved in the volunteering projects, there are a standing organization and then hosting one. And through this organization, volunteers has the opportunity to have tutors, both from the standing organization and from the hosting one. And I want to underline this because it is important for volunteers to understand that they have support from both sides. They can always count on their tutors. They can always go back to them if they need any advice. I always say to the volunteers I'm in contact with, please don't call me only if you break your leg. You can call us even if you just have a question that you may think is stupid, because no question is stupid.
Yeah.
Maybe sometimes you will need an advice about how to manage a situation, how to manage a conflict, and no matter how important or big can this conflict. It matters the fact that you have support and you can call your tutors to ask, how can I solve this?
Totally.
How can I improve my project? How can I explain this idea? Because sometimes it's easier to speak in your own language with your tutors from your standing organization because you can have some difficulties due to the language barrier.
Mm-hmm. And it's so important to understand that these people is not, the sending organizations are not responsible of sending you abroad and forget about you. They are in contact with a lot of volunteers, and all the volunteers, or mostly of most of the volunteers, have passed the same feelings, because we all confront conflicts, we all feel homesick from time to time, and they know probably what do you feel right now. So it's important to rely on them and to trust on them that they are there for you and they are going to be available for you. And also your hosting organization, if you have a problem with other volunteer, for example, if you have problems because you are feeling dismotivated or whatever, is good for you and for your future and for your volunteering experience to rely on the people you're working with and say, look, I'm not feeling comfortable with this activity, or I would prefer to do another thing because this I'm not feeling myself a lot, and they will change it. You need to trust that you're a volunteer and they will make your estancia the best they can do, both
Yes,
of them.
because this is an experience that can give a lot. It's time for yourself. It's time to grow. It's time to learn. So we want to make sure that you can live a good experience. You can enjoy it and take all the best that you can. It's not only about going abroad, do activities, and coming back. That's a words. among those activities. It's about growing, it's about learning a new language, it's about sharing a flat, it's about carrying out activities that you already know, but it's also about carrying out new activities and maybe learn there is something else that you like to do.
Yes, yes. And it's amazing because for me, the most important thing is that you're going to be surrounded by other volunteers that arrive like you, having no idea what is going to be the future. And then you come back. This is another advice that I would like to share as a volunteer, that is enjoy the present, because when you are there, sometimes we feel homesick, we want to be close to our family or friends, and of course it's normal, but enjoy the people you have around you and be in the present and know that it's going to be just for 8 months, because then you're going to go back home. And this is the thing that happened to me the last 2 months. I was like, oh my God, I need to go back home and having my routine and everything again. And then when I arrived home, I was feeling homesick of Italy, homesick of being with the volunteers. I share my life for 8 months and we create a really strong connection. So this is the advice that I would really give to everyone, like be in the present and be conscious about that each opportunity is once in life, and just enjoy it the much you can do in all the senses, in the laboral sense, in the personal sense. Try to develop new hobbies, try to develop new attitudes, uh, try to create another version of yourself, and then maintain it when you go back home.
Thank you for sharing your experience. I really am speechless because you really provide an example on how deep can be an experience like this and how hard also it can be. I'm not counting fairy tales. It can be hard at the beginning. It can be struggling to try to adapt to a new context, to new people, to new activities, to a new country, to a new language. But at the end, if you are patient, if you choose the right projects, if you are proactive, if you try to enjoy the experience, it can turn out in something that can be really deep, emotional, and at the end, when you're coming back, you are feeling the same shock that you
Yeah,
felt when you arrived,
totally.
because it will be like leaving another home.
Yeah, totally.
So thank you so much for your words.
Thank you very much, Luisa, for the opportunity of being here, because it's really nice also to reconnect with this feeling again through words and through memories.
So I hope to see you soon in another podcast.
I hope to be here again. Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Lisa. And thank you all for listening to us.